Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for listening once again. As always, sponsored by Usk Stoves MP4 0JL for all your heating and plumbing needs.
Yeah, episode
43.
43. Wow, it's been a time.
Almost a year. So Charlie and I are back again. We've got a few things to go over this week. So we've seen the enhanced games, which we've pretty much been talking about since we started this. It was an idea.
Yeah.
And it's come to fruition.
Yeah, it's been and gone. But I think if we start with the first thing that we always do that we haven't been able to do in a long time.
Yeah.
How's your week been, mate?
Mate, I am the busiest I've ever been in my entire life, and it's wicked. It's really hard trying to fit it all in, but I always think the alternative to being busy is I'm either bored or I'm either worrying if you're self-employed and you're not busy, like something's going wrong there.
Yeah.
So trying to cram some training in. I've been a bit more diligent with rest times and stuff. Like, let's say you've got like 2 hours to train and you do a set of squats and you're like, just kind of like chill around for like 4 minutes and stuff and just hang about. Whereas it's quite, I have to get this in, have to get this done. But I've been consistently training. I got a few irons in the fire that I'm probably not going to talk about yet.
Yeah.
But just sort of
exciting times.
Yeah, getting them over the line in the background, and then you can say to people, one, because you don't want anyone to steal your idea. Two, because you actually want it to go through without sort of telling people.
Yeah.
And there was that thing before about if you tell someone about your achievement before you've done it, it's kind of like the same dopamine response in your brain. So if I say, I'm going to do this and get really excited about it, I kind of like, I'm less
driven towards
your brain's already going, you've done it. You've done it, and you haven't actually done anything. So I got some things that are going in the background that are really cool that I'm very excited to go over in the future.
That's cool.
But how are you? How's your training? How's your week?
Yeah, training's going well. Week's been busy. Training's going really well. Back snatching again. And back doing a bit of lifting, deadlifted well, squatting coming along nicely. It's funny, like the amount of people that have messaged me or said like, how's the 200 kilos? How's the road 2 going? Are you still doing it? Are you still doing it? I am still doing it, and I'm still chipping away training wise. It's just I'm not filming as much of it at the moment because it's stuff that I've already kind of done. Yeah. If people want to see it, then I don't mind showing it. But it's like at the moment, it's just like the nitty gritty of it, kind of the sets that I've already done once. So if you watch it again, it'll be the same numbers that you've already seen, maybe for an extra set or maybe for this.
And it's not like every session's going to be right. I'm doing a 185 squat
today,
186, 187. Yeah. It's not as linear as that. So it's kind of whenever it comes up.
Yeah, no. Deadlifting. Yeah, adding some deadlifts into the training at the moment because just from some like free gains at the moment, the stiff leg deadlifts have been going up so much and feeling good that like I deadlifted 221 yesterday for a PB, moved well, and it wasn't meant to be like a PB day either. Like I had the thought of I'll go in, lift something heavy, put it down, do some drop offs, do some upper body.
Was that stiff leg or regular?
Regular. So regular deadlift 221, and felt like I had more in the tank. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if I can push towards that 230 mark.
Chinese dentist.
Snatching, snatching again, which is wicked. Snatched 110 the other day for the first time in ages, which was good. But I think it was all down to, I'm going to leave it here as a top tip for you beginners. And for you normal athletes who have been training for years and years, do not turn your nose up at this, but a slow pull snatch I think is the most underrated exercise in the world. So the slow pull snatch, for anyone that hasn't done them before, basically imagine you're doing a regular snatch, but the first part of the lift you are exaggerating massively. So you're really, really coming off the floor slow. You wait until just above the kneecap to then speed up. And yeah, it opens the door to so much sort of learning potential. So I've been snatching for 12 years and it's taught me so much in 4 weeks that I wish I'd done it a lot sooner. It's something that is the typical, I've given it out to pretty much every single one of my athletes at some point. And I just thought the other day, why not I'll have a go myself for the first time in ages. And yeah, the results, it teaches you so much about positioning, so much about timing, so much about body tension, gives you so much more confidence when you're physically making the movement a lot harder, but still lifting good weight. So like I was doing slow pull snatches at 100 and made them all feeling really, really confident, which then gave me the confidence then to do a normal snatch at 110, if that makes sense. Because I was like, well, it doesn't feel heavy off the floor, I'm going to be good. But yeah, my underrated lift of the week is
slow pull
slow pull snatch. Get on it, people, because honestly, you're missing out on free gains.
I coached yesterday, so I only coach once a week at the minute at Shadow Valley, and it was snatch. So if I only coach once a week, and CrossFit is really hard to fit everything in consistently anyway. That is one of the biggest issues with CrossFit gyms and programming for it, is if you've got 30 different things to work on, you can't keep them all in consistently. And if you run a cycle where you're really intense on one thing, there has to be cycles where you're not intense on it. So I very rarely get to coach Olympic lifting anymore. But we snatched yesterday, and one of the most common things, there was probably 3 issues that were over and over and over and over again, were stay over the bar, drive through your legs instead of pulling it like an RDL or a deadlift from the floor. That was a bit of a common thing. And just slow it down. I was trying to explain that if you take your time to get to your mid quad or your hip, you're going to be in a better position for when you actually need to move quickly, as opposed to people ripping it from the floor, which would be the opposite of a slow snatch, and then you're in a poor position at the hip and it's all out the window. So yeah, the slow snatch from the floor was those 3 things. It gives you such a good chance to work on that would have been, if the class yesterday was slow pull snatch and then go from it from mid thigh, that would have been very beneficial for 99% of people there. So yeah, fantastic exercise.
Yeah, 100%. But well, I think address the elephant in the room of the enhanced games.
The enhanced games was, I think, a massive flop. There's a few notable things from it. So one record was broken. Obviously, it doesn't actually stand as a world record. If you look now, Charlie, how do you say this gentleman's name? Christian.
Let me see.
I'll try it.
Christian Kukolomiev.
Yeah. So he beat the world record in the men's 50-meter freestyle or front crawl, for those of you who aren't swimmers, by 0.07 seconds, which is quite a big. 0.07 over 50 meters is quite a lot. It's not like 0.1 or 0.01 even. But yeah, to use a suit that wasn't allowed to be used in the Olympics and use performance-enhancing drugs, and for only one person across the whole event to break a world record, it was quite underwhelming. I've noticed as well, they didn't do that many events. It would be nice to see some throwing, just for my own curiosity, but they were very much power-driven events. There was 100-meter hurdles, I didn't know was a thing, 110-meter hurdles, 100-meter sprint, Olympic weightlifting, both variations, deadlift, and 50 meters and 100 meters freestyle and butterfly. I think that was it. I think that they were all the ones who were doing. So there's no endurance events. There was no. It says track and field, but there was no field events. There was no jumping. There was no throwing. And the longest distance that was covered was 110 meters. So very much like power driven, like get where they're going with that of, we want to see how much force, how much speed, how much power you can produce. And these are going to be the events that show it, bar the throwing. But it was very underwhelming. I've got some questions for you at the end of this in regards to like what, where do they go from here with it?
Yeah.
Which one were you most excited to see out of all of those?
To be honest, the only one that like really I kind of thought would happen was Hafthor. Everything else, I think, if we went from a perspective of like what was the overall expectation of the games, to any sort of person who trains or understands training, like we all kind of understood that it wasn't going to turn into their like Space Jam, where these athletes are suddenly going to fucking blow up like absolute mutants and be these freaks and suddenly like run at 100 meters in 8 seconds and lift 1 million kilos, and Hafthor's going to suddenly deadlift 600 kilos. Like, we know that as trainers. So I think we have to almost look at it through those eyes rather than I don't think a normal person let's say, well, I don't know, maybe like the general population, if you told them, oh yeah, you're going to take a load of steroids, maybe they would believe that you could suddenly become superhuman.
There's quite a big percentage of, I'm not saying like 80%, but there's a lot of people out there who go, right, all these elite athletes are going to start taking drugs and the records are going to get shattered. I think there are, you know, a certain percentage of people, maybe not people listening to this would believe it, but I thought maybe, I agree with you. I think the 5:15 I thought was going to go. I thought Thor was the person to do it. Yeah. Gave it a fucking good effort, mind.
Yeah, got it above the knee, didn't he? And started, like, it's phenomenal the weights they're lifting anyway. And like I've written some down, some notable people that kind of made the drama of the Enhanced Games what it was.
Yeah.
So like James Magnussen was the original. So he was the swimmer that everyone saw back in the day. I say back in the day, but back when all of this news first came about, and he suddenly like tripled in size. He was an absolute fucking unit.
He was the perfect poster boy for it, though, because he was in good nick anyway.
Just jacked.
Yeah, he looked the part. Yeah. He looked like an athlete that was an athlete, and then he went into some sort of superhuman like level. I don't know his numbers between now and when he was competing.
Well,
before.
He came last in both events in the Enhanced Games. So it's like he was. I know he was a very good swimmer. I know that for a fact because I remember he came out on a podcast, and this is where the whole like driving force I think came from. It was he came out on a podcast and said, "Look, I'll come in juiced to the gills, and within 6 months I'll smash the world record." And everyone kind of had this moment of, oh fuck, like he could do it. Like he's up there already. What happens when he juices to the gills? And then you started having more and more athletes like come out of the woodwork with these like overhyped expectations, if you know what I mean. Like Fred Curley said that he was going to smash Usain Bolt's record. It was never going to happen. Like it was never ever going to happen.
The people that are going forward though for like a what do they call it? Casual fans. So like a casual fan of athletics, like me. They're never the big names that would do this because they don't need the draw, they don't need to prove anything, and I think it would only tarnish their reputation. You're not going to get people who already have world records doping to do it. You've got the people who are like good, they are you know, Olympic standard or world championship standard, but they're not the ones who are going to break the record anyway, because the ones who would, what have they got to prove?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Apart from Thor and Hooper, who presumably, if you know anything about strongman, they were already doing it anyway, so they don't really, there's not much to lose there.
Well, it's like that Kokolomov, he broke the world record, but I think he officially had the second fastest time anyway, so he was that close to it anyway.
Yes.
Then he hopped on.
Okay.
And did his thing and broke the world record.
So he would be contrary to what I just said.
But he's like, there's always an exception.
Yeah.
Like there's always going to be an exception. There was always going to be someone at this Enhanced Games that broke the record. Whether it was going to be in, I think the one that it was going to be broken in was going to be the swimming event rather than the lifting event, because the lifters who actually came into the lifting event weren't at that world record level anyway, where he was the second already, if that makes sense. So like the Wes Kits, Ali Mendes, Dozer. I think Dozer was more for like, again,
he's the real winner of this though.
Like he's come away with 2 personal bests, hit a 160 snatch and a 205 kilo clean and jerk with a very close attempt at 210 as well, which was fucking awesome.
Because of the standard though, we're looking at this and stuffing our noses up going, 160, 205. Like they are fucking phenomenal lifts. It's world-class numbers.
It's not even like I'm, like when I look at this Enhanced Games, I am in no way, shape or form dissing the athletes, because they got fucking paid a wedge of money to go and do their sport in sports that don't pay that kind of money. So like you had, 250 grand for a winner of an Olympic lifting event. You're never going to get that.
That doesn't happen.
You don't get that. So like I do not fucking discredit any of the weights they're lifting at all. It was just more the fact that obviously the Enhanced Games have to sell tickets. They have to sell we're going to do it, we're going to do that. They have to sell the event. And the way they sold the event fell completely flat on its face, because the big stars in that event didn't perform. So like Fred Curley calling out Usain Bolt, saying he was going to smash his record, immediately backfired. Bolt tweeted it, basically saying like, good luck, fuck off. James Magnussen,
it's just to get that hype, though,
absolute
surely.
poster boy for the enhanced games, comes last in his events. Ali Mendez snatches a record in training, 182. He snatched 182 in training with straps on, and it was like this big thing of, oh my god, he's actually on the world record now. This is really close. Injures his wrist, pulls out after snatching 150 kilos, doesn't clean and jerk. So they're down. Then you go Bodie and Wes Kitts. Like, were they ever going to break the record? No. Like, we'll talk about what happened in that weightlifting event because I think it was bizarre how it happened.
The hardest thing for weightlifters, though, in the same way as strongman going into this, is that when you look at the swimmers, you look at the people who've got the world records, and you could argue that they are clean athletes. Like, there's always a bit of, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but you could argue that, Michael Phelps was a clean athlete apart from the weed that he smoked. Whereas the weightlifters, you look at the world records over the years, like how many times have they changed weight classes because of fucking steroids and whatever else going on? The people breaking the world records were already on drugs and they were just better at their sport.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's, the reason why the enhanced game didn't work is because they weren't the best of the best in their field. Like, obviously Hathor being an exception, but Hathor had already just broken his world record. That's the real downside for the enhanced games. Like, if the enhanced games had said to Hathor, don't do your fucking 5'10", come here and do your 5'10", immediately then they're like, here
Quids
we go.
in, yeah.
We're quids in.
Biggest lift ever.
Yeah, we're here for another year at least because Hathor wants to come back and try 520 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, immediately you're ahead of the curve, whereas they were already behind the curve with, like, a lift that is already absolutely phenomenal.
Do you think they're going to do another year after this?
I don't know. I don't know. But, like, going into the point of, if you had done it and said, right, this is the enhanced games, and we have got Carlos Nassar, and we've got fucking the top weightlifters in the world, and we've got the top runners in the world, and we've got
Noah Lyles is going to take gear and have a go.
You're talking about the best of the best. Now we're going to take them away for 6 months, fill them full of fucking juice, and say, right, have at it. Then the spectacle for people would be like, well, now I'm going to see a world record at some point. Like, whether it's a weightlifting, running, swimming, you're taking the best who have already broken the world record. Like, imagine if you took the high jumper. What's his name?
Oh my god,
the Swedish.
I know the one. Yeah, the one that breaks it by a centimeter every time.
Imagine if you said, right, we've got him.
Yeah.
Well, now you're guaranteed a world record.
But now you're
filling it with juice.
Yeah.
And then saying, right, let's go. You're now the public eye is now going, rather than going, who's fucking Ali Mendez?
Yeah, I'm going to
Dozer?
take some fucking gear and try and jump a world. Like, I know I'm not going to. No amount of steroids is going to make me do that.
Like, no disrespect to Dylan Cooper. Like Dozer, I really like him. He's like great content, great advocate for the sport, great lifter, hit some massive numbers. But, like, he's not a household name. If you took a household name, like if you said in the UK, oh, Emily Campbell. Oh, okay. Everyone in the UK, or if you're watching adverts, Emily Campbell is sponsored by fucking Pantene Pro V or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? So it's like she's a household name, and also she's already won a silver medal at the Olympics. Going through, I think the spectacle of it was a bit shit.
I liked the idea and the concept of it, but I think the execution and how many the names they got there was a bit of a flop because it's a hard sell to those athletes. We're going to let you take a load of drugs, which essentially ruins any further career of you competing naturally. Yeah. Because you've taken steroids, so you can't presumably go back to whatever you were doing before. I like the concept. I just think the execution was a bit off. And I like the question I asked of, do you think they're going to do it next year? If this was a massive success, like that wouldn't even be a question. Yeah. So the fact that I'm asking it means I don't think they're going to do it.
I don't think they will. I think they will quickly realize that it's like the attention span of people as well. If we're not instantly hit with world record, the excitement just like there isn't enough excitement around the one world record that was broken for me to say, yeah, you know what, I'm fucking watching it. And it's also by the amount they beat it by. Like, if he had turned up and he had beaten that by obviously it's only 50 meters or 100, whatever it was. He beat it by 0.07, which is, again, fucking awesome. Like, fair play to the guy.
He beat it by half a minute.
Yeah.
Half a minute. Half a second.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy, but this is the childlike mind of mine being like, these freaks are going to be like Space Jam.
Yeah.
Where they suddenly become
That's the dream.
giants and they're like juiced out of their fucking minds. But realistically, they're just good athletes on steroids.
But talking about like memory and time frame and stuff, if you and I, let's say we had a guest on today and next week and the next week, in 4 weeks' time, do you think we'd be talking about this?
Yeah, exactly.
We'd fucking forget about it by then. It's yeah, I like the idea, but it was a bit of a flop.
I think the spectacle of it as well, like how they ran it, so it just felt like it was very like almost like Netflixy, where it was like, oh, here's an event, oh, here's an event, oh, here's an event, and it was just like flop after flop after flop, and it just felt like they were going, come on, like, yeah, no, it's another, he won, he won, but he didn't break the world record, oh, she won, but she didn't, and it just felt like they were hanging on, like, every event, like, please, someone do it.
And they hype up the 50-meter freestyle like it's the it's the 100 meters have just been smashed.
Yeah.
Did you see Brian Johnson commentating?
No.
So there's two Brian Johnsons for everyone listening. There is Liver King, who had a mental breakdown, and there is the Live Forever Brian Johnson.
Oh,
so
yes, the vampire.
I've saved...
The live forever kind of guy.
I've saved a photo of him. So a lovely sunny day.
Oh, he's got a UV umbrella, isn't he? Yeah, fuck.
He's there with sunglasses on, an umbrella, and a black t-shirt, hiding from the sun. So if someone's... His life goal is to live as long as you can. He spends about $2 million a year on this like Live Forever protocol, where his whole day is essentially, I'm surprised he got time out to do this. His whole day is a routine of taking these supplements, walking on the treadmill for like fucking 4 hours.
And he had like a blood transfusion with his kid or something like that.
Yeah,
like plasma
it's
cells
really
weird.
weird.
It's weird as fuck.
But I would argue, and I think most people would agree, I'd rather live less time and like a normal life.
And have an incredible life.
Yeah, and actually get outside and do stuff instead of having this routine for 120 years where I'm just miserable for the entire time.
Just hate your life.
But anyway, he was the equivalent of the enhanced games. It was just a bit of a flop. I'm like, what's going on here? Mitchell Hooper, the 440 deadlift. So first of all, that is the most insane jump I've ever seen, going up 75 kilos from 440 to 515. But he did make 440.
But he hitched for, like, again, like, it's going to sound like I'm shitting on it. I'm not shitting on it. It's 440 kilos.
It's fantastic.
It's literally twice as much as I did yesterday. So fair play. But it's the claims behind it which makes it a bit shit for me.
If you did a 120 deadlift and hitched it from the bottom, you're not going to go right. Let's go 220.
Yeah. But it's like I want to talk about it in a bit more length in a second. But it was the enhanced games just felt like, right, you've made a lift, go on then, chuck it on and have a go. And it was very, very similar with Bodie and Wes Kitts. They got 4 attempts to break the record. So they had 3 snatches and then they had another attempt. But they snatched, made a lift, attempted it, missed. Bodie attempted it, missed. And then got a 4th attempt at the snatch. So there was an old rule in Olympic lifting, in weightlifting, where they basically said if you're going for a world record, you can have the 4th attempt. But actually on the day, you could tell the commentators weren't set up for it. You can tell the graphics team weren't set up for it, because when they were commentating it, I watched it, and Bodie missed it, walked off the stage. Wes missed it, walked off the stage. Then all of a sudden, Bodie's getting slapped on the back or whatever, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? The commentators were like, they must have misloaded the bar, so he gets another attempt. And it was like, no, they haven't. They haven't misloaded the bar. And then he comes back up onto the stage, but on the graphics behind him on the board was Wes Kitts' failed lift. So on the graphics, they had only prepared for three lifts. So you could tell that was literally like a last minute,
like, please save this
go do it again, you're close, do it again. And anyway, he missed it. And then Wes Kitts went up on his 4th attempt and then just deadlifted it. Which again, like, Bodie got under 183 3 times. Didn't look like he was ever going to stand it up. But the way they were talking about, the way they were talking about it was like, oh my God, he's so close. Now, I get it, he got under it. But you as a weightlifter know there's so many lifts that we do where you snatch something, you go under, and you just know there's no way I'm going to catch this and stabilize this. And everyone then in the room will turn to you and go, oh, I was so close. You know in your head, I ain't fucking snatching that, or I ain't cleaning that. And it just felt a bit like that. And it just, like where you said there about Mitchell Hooper, it just felt like that for me.
Forced. You know as well, there's nothing worse than if you, whatever you're doing, weightlifting, strongman, CrossFit, whatever. If you get your 3 lifts and you'll mentally check out from there, and you walk off and you start taking your kit off, and they go, you got one more. It's so hard to get back into that zone and amp yourself up to make a lift, and you end up doing what Wes Kitts did, and you just pull it from the floor and be like, it's just not there. Yeah. It's not happening today.
Yeah.
But the Mitchell Hooper one was, like we said before the podcast, a kind of a bit forced, a bit, you're here now, you might as well have a go at it. Just put 515 on the bar. I think he might have moved the inside plates, might have bent the bar off the
floor, I think. Yeah. I think he posted a picture saying it came off the floor, which is, again, phenomenal. You lifted 515 kilos off the floor. But it was purely just, I know, again, you have to sell tickets in this world. Like, everything nowadays is Instagram or social media driven. And if you don't push that social media aspect of it, you're never going to sell tickets unless you are someone who is just so good at what they do that you attract people. Like a Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt wouldn't need to go on Instagram and go, oh, I'm running at this time, I'm going to race, I'm going to smash the world record. He just turned up and did it, and then everyone followed. Similar to like how I like Alex Pereira just says Sharma. Doesn't talk shit about anyone, doesn't fuck about with like social media, or you never hear any like big drama about him or anything. It's literally comes in, knocks someone out, goes home, and everyone goes, oh, we want to go watch him smash some people.
Yeah, but in the world of today, when you had, Conor McGregor obviously did it better than anyone, that is a massive draw, and that's kind of when you said about the sprinter, I forgot his name, Fred Curley, calling out Usain Bolt. Like, he knows he's not going to beat Usain Bolt. Yeah, he's just trying to create a bit of hype, and maybe he would have had more people watching it than otherwise, but it just it looks a bit silly after the fact. You don't even get close.
Yeah, and that's the thing that put the big dampener on everything for me. It was, you didn't fulfill your promise. No one fulfilled their promise other than probably the guy who broke the world record. He probably said that he was going to break it, and he did, which is great. Yeah. But like Fred Curley said he would, Bodie said he would, didn't. Mitchell Hooper said he was going to beat Hafthor, nowhere near it. Hafthor said he was going to beat it. Now, Hafthor I've got an exception for. Yeah. Hafthor is the only one on this field that I've got an actual, like... And don't get me wrong, like, everyone has days. Like, it just goes to show that it is much more than just whack a load of steroids in. It's all about the day. It's all about the luck. It's all about the mindset. It's all about, like, everything has to align in that moment for you to be able to do that thing. Like, every millisecond of that snatch, or every millisecond of that race, or every millisecond of that deadlift has to be like utterly perfect for you to break a world record. Yeah, not just fucking smash a load of gear in, show up on the day, and then just pull it off the floor.
I questioned earlier, and I did a bit of digging on this, and I don't know if you thought the same thing of I don't know if anyone else was more qualified to have a go at the deadlift on the day than Mitchell Hooper. Obviously Thor, obviously. But I was looking through the heaviest lifts of all time, and there was some names that sort of sprung to mind. I didn't realise Mitchell Hooper's got, after, I think it's like Thor, 5'10", 5'5", 501, Eddie Hall. I think Mitchell Hooper's got the 5th biggest deadlift ever in strongman. So I was almost like, took it back a little bit, but then I was thinking of, I'd like to see me, because at the point now, what are we even competing in? You're allowed to take steroids, you're allowed to use straps. Are you allowed to pull sumo? I want to see Colton have a go at 525 or something stupid.
Well, he did 520 the other day. Yeah.
So I think he had not a 4th lift, but almost like an exhibition lift, where he missed 500, then he did 500 with straps, and then he's pulled 520 on a platform. But obviously, if you're in strongman, you can wear a suit, you can wear straps, but you have to pull conventional. Whereas if you're a powerlifter, you're not allowed to wear straps. You can wear suits and equipped, but you're allowed to pull sumo. So it's either one or the other, sumo or straps. So since we're doing the enhanced games now, and it's whatever the fuck that is, you should be able to pull sumo and have straps.
Just do whatever the fuck you want.
Can you lift that weight off the floor to your hip in some sort of fashion? Yes. And I was thinking about who would you want to see have a crack at this in the future?
Well, it'd be Colton, wouldn't it? It'd just be like, just because, but again, it's the whole point of the enhanced games. Someone said to me the other day, it's like, so what happens if the person is already taking as much gear or more gear than the enhanced games would give them? Do you get me? So like the protocol that they give you is specifically for you. But what happens if you're running a better protocol? Already, or like a steeper protocol that then you turn up and they actually go, oh, we'd actually take you off that or put you like. I want to see someone like.
I don't think they are that health conscious at this point to go, whoa, Thor, you're on a bit too much here. We're going to rein it back in a bit.
I want to see someone explode.
Yeah, I think they want whatever you have to take. There's this new steroid. We don't know how safe it is yet, but take it and it'll work. I think they would go for that. I don't think they really give a fuck about health at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to see Colton have a go. Looking back through it, Benedict Magnusson is one of the ones I remember. I think pulled 460 or 46 something. But there's a few people I think, right, if you could pull them to this day and this age, like to see them have a crack under these conditions, I think there's a few people that will get close to 500.
Yeah.
Eddie Hall, obviously, if he was
in his prime,
not boxing or doing whatever he's doing right now.
Yeah, I think most people, like, we put a poll out earlier to you lot, and we were just sort of like inundated with people saying it was a flop, it was shit, it was pointless. Someone, I think Nick said it was the equivalent to an indoor firework. Pewey said very, very similar. We'll get some of the stuff up now, but it just became overwhelmingly. There wasn't one person that said, saying that, Liam had made a good point. He said, what it does do for the sport in terms of it pushes more of like the clean sport. So it gets people who are taking the sort of enhancements out of clean sports because they've got now a sport to actually go and compete in.
Yeah.
I also saw someone say it was good for the athletes that were rightfully paid what they're worth.
Mm-hmm.
Get that again? Like,
I think they
dedicate your life to something and you're getting paid pennies, and then you go and do one event and you earn 250 grand for winning an event that you don't have to break a world record for. Then fucking happy days. I don't have any grievances with any athlete who decided to.
I think you should get paid more if you're at this elite level and you've given so much time and effort to it. I wish there was more money in sports, but apart from like football and things like that.
Yeah.
The one thing I did really like that they did though, morality wise, was you compete as a man or a woman based on whatever chromosomes you were born with. Fair. Like, so we accept a certain amount of cheating, but no men,
not full on cheating.
Yeah, intergender boxing going on.
Yeah.
I like Liam's take on it as well. Why is everyone taking someone else's gear status so personally? A lot of awful takes.
Yeah. There was another point that we haven't made yet, but a lot of the people who actually won their events, I think it was like 4 or 5 athletes who had actually won their events, had chosen not to be enhanced. So there were people in the enhanced games that weren't actually on gear or on.
Did they get drugs tested for that?
Yes, but not to the same standards. So like Fred Curley, for example, came out and said he wasn't on steroids, but it becomes then such a, like Reece Prescott, the British sprinter, he said he wasn't going to take steroids, but he also finished 4th. It also then just becomes a, do you believe them or not? Because a lot of these athletes had already been previously popped for steroids. Fred Curley was popped for gear. There's so many of the athletes who would come off a ban from the Olympics to then go into the enhanced games. For them now to say, "Oh, I'm not on steroids."
Natural at the time.
It was like, are you,
boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, are you fucking sure about that, mate?
Yeah, I think that's a if you went into it and you'd never failed the drugs test and you said, look, I'm just going here to prove a point that you can do this naturally. I want to be a good role model for the kids, whatever the fuck. I think that's quite respectable. But to get popped for cheating in this capacity, it is cheating, and then go in and then try and prove that you're better naturally. Like you've been on the wrong side of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
not
I
massively.
I do think, like you said there, like people being hurt about natty statuses and stuff like that. I do think that is like the most common thing you see nowadays on social media, where as soon as someone gets big, as soon as someone gets strong, as soon as someone gets fast, the first thing is, oh, he's on gear.
Yeah.
Oh, he's taking steroids. And it must be really frustrating for people who are like genuinely not on anything.
Yeah.
And they've worked all of their life for something. And then someone just literally diminishes their whole career in one sentence by saying, you're on steroids,
Well,
you know?
no one understood that before, and now everyone's starting to. It's the equivalent of, you know, you do really well and lose a load of weight, and everyone goes, "Oh, what weight loss drugs are you taking?" It's like this is how it feels. Not that I'm getting
you must be on Ozempic.
steroid accusations left, right, and center, but I know there's a lot of people out there who do dabble in things, and usually they're not like super consistent with their training, and they're, oh, I'm taking this, I'm taking that, I've started my TRT, and they are hitting very, very, you know, moderate numbers for someone who's been training for like 2 years. You know, taking steroids to squat like 150 is so easy without it. Just don't bother.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions I've got for you later on, but since I just mentioned TRT, then TRT has almost not become TRT anymore, to the point where it's, if you're taking testosterone and not going to the doctors and having your blood work done, is that just essentially steroids at this point?
I think a lot of it is steroids. Like if you like, I had this conversation with someone a while back about when Ozempic was really rife. Like it was everywhere online and everywhere. It still is, but like when it was at its kind of peak. And I said, if you labeled that as a steroid, would you still take it? And a lot of people were along the lines of, oh, probably not, because it would have a bad name and stuff like that. But it's like, when it's doing a similar job to a cutting agent, you know, like
it's a performance enhancing drug.
It's you're not doing anything and something is happening to you, you know. So you know, you're taking that and you're naturally losing weight. I say you're unnaturally losing weight through just sitting on your ass and not eating because you have no appetite. It's not like, as well, you know, you're taking something, going to the gym, and then it's having a add-on effect to
like,
that, you know?
You could say that with any drug. Like if you said about like alcohol is probably worse for you than most drugs. If it was classed as illegal, would you still take it if you could see all the side effects?
Yeah,
I think it would have a bit of a different stigma to it.
Yeah.
But when you look at what the weight loss drugs do when they have an effect on your hormones, like steroids have an effect on your hormones, testosterone have an effect on your hormone in one way or another to make this easier for you. And I get, like, TRT is, as far as we know, like, it is a good thing if you are really struggling with it, if you're an older man. But for people who are, you know, taking it for a bit of an edge, you could, I don't know,
it's a gateway drug, isn't it? I think that's what the new TRT is like for this generation. Is like, get a bit of TRT in you. Once that sort of calms down, what's next?
Take more.
Take more. Take this. Take that. Add this. This is the chain. This is the next peptide. This is the fucking Wolverine stack. This is the fucking, you know, it is just forced into you of like,
trend.
Yeah, do this, do that, do this. Combine these two, and you'll become fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Peptides remind me of, and I don't know if you can remember them or not. Oh my god, what were they called? You used to be able to buy them in supplement shops. Pro hormones.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they found out they weren't actually what they are. They had, you know, people were getting gyno from taking them. They weren't what was on the bottle.
Yeah.
And they were essentially selling steroids under sort of a false
fake
pretense.
name.
Yeah, that's what they remind me of. So we'll see in 5 years, 10 years if peptides are what they are. I hope they are, because the amount of people taking them, I hope they're not, you know, going to die.
Yeah.
But just fucking do your research.
Yeah. I think I wanted to touch on like the social media aspect of this, the enhanced games, and the negative effect of what social media has done for the enhanced games, because I don't think anyone really believed anything about the enhanced games that was happening, even to the point of like their biggest stars when Mitchell Hooper called out Hafthor about the deadlift title. Most people who know the sport went, no chance, like not a chance. But I think sometimes a bit more of like a surprise element to it would help matters. Like if they said they've got a surprise deadlifter who's going for the world record, not reveal who it is.
Yeah.
You know, or we've got this person, but not reveal who they are, what they're doing, and just, right, okay, pay your money because something's going to fucking happen. The surprise element. Because I think with the social media element now, it is so forced upon you. You see it so much that you're just like, you just ignore it. You're just like, oh, there's another post about Hathel. Oh, there's another post about Mitchell Hooper. There's another post.
Just get on with
like,
it,
just get on.
it.
Like, come on. Like Mitchell Hooper saying, oh yeah, Mitchell Hooper was doing World's Strongest Man recently.
Yeah.
How are you going to beat someone
Didn't
who
win
was,
the deadlift event.
who was going to literally dedicate his entire life towards deadlifting? How are you going to beat him? Like, there's no, like, if Mitchell Hooper said, you know what, I've scrapped World's Strongest Man, I've done 3 years worth of deadlifting now, I'm going, fucking happy days, here we go. But there was none of that. There was no. There was no.
I've dedicated
tension.
6 weeks post the biggest competition of my life, where I lost the deadlift event to Ray O'Neill to
try and beat the best deadlifter on planet Earth
ever.
Yeah, like this ain't gonna work. I think it boils down to, as well, the social media aspect of it. I think, you know who I think ruined it, which I love him. Well, I loved him, and I probably will love him again when he comes back to fight. Was McGregor ruined it for me?
In what way?
Because so I'll take you back to Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, right? When you were a Conor McGregor fan at that time, Conor McGregor had just come off beating Eddie Alvarez in one of the most emphatic wins, like
combo,
the most incredible win. Like, I remember watching that live and just being like, this man he can beat anyone. Like, I genuinely believe.
For the double champ?
Yeah, the double champ. Yeah, and you watch that and you went, oh my God, he is the best. He's the best.
He can do anything.
He can do anything. And then all this hype around, he's going to fight Floyd Mayweather. And the more the build-up happened, genuinely, I remember having conversations with Kyle, Tommy Ules, Alex Tippin. We'd be in the gym in Abergavenny, and we'd be coming in after watching a press conference with them too, and you'd be watching training footage, and you'd be like, at the start, it was like, nah, Floyd Mayweather will fucking kill him. Like, Floyd Mayweather's a professional boxer. Like, he's 50-0. He's gonna fight this kickboxer or this MMA fighter who's got like a karate style. And then we were like, oh yeah, but what happens if the karate style works? What happens if he just catches him with the big left hand? Oh my God, he's got he's got longer reach than him. Oh my God, and then all of a sudden, as the hype started building, you started believing more and more, and it was this thing of, oh my God, it's gonna happen. He's gonna lose. Yeah. And then by the end of it, I was convinced. I was like, I think I put a bet on that McGregor was going to knock him out in the third round.
The press conferences as well, when he was just mugging him off every time. You think, right, it's just a win here, a win here.
He's going to beat him. He's going to beat him. He's going to beat him. And then it fell obviously flat, and it was good exhibition fight, I suppose. And obviously he earned so much fucking money from it. Yeah. But then it turned out afterwards that they were kind of not like mates, but they were all right with each other, and the build-up was all kind of a facade and a bit fake.
That feels like Strickland and Chimaev looking back on that one.
And this is the point, right? So when you have that big of one, and then you realise it was all kind of like put on, and it was all kind of, they didn't actually hate each other like Khabib and McGregor did. That was different. Like that, I tuned in and I was genuinely like, oh my God, this is a bit mental.
I was in Florida in Hooters watching that, right? I was there with Berger and our girlfriends at the time. And he just like choked him, and it was quite late in the evening. It was like 10:30 or so. Everyone got up to leave, and I grabbed my missus at the time. I went,
stay,
wait, and then it all fucking kicked off, and everyone came flooding back into this Hooters and were just going mental.
Yeah, you think back to those press conferences, they were that one was real, but like it just seems like now every press conference you see with a boxer, every press conference you see with something that's like hyped up, always turns out to be fake.
Yeah.
Always turns out to be like, Sean Strickland and Chimaev going at it for fucking ages, calling each other like a son of a goat, and like you're watching it and you're like, oh my God, is this allowed?
It's
like,
believable.
But it was believable. And then afterwards they're like, oh yeah, I've got nothing against him. Yeah. And you go, oh, similar with Mitchell Hooper.
Are we the mugs?
Like, I feel like we get sold this like, Fred Curley going to beat Usain Bolt, football. Obviously, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, I didn't believe it.
But it was like the Enhanced Games almost tried to portray it as Mitchell Hooper, the guy to finally beat
funny, right? If I didn't like you and we're having like a fucking Ugan deadlift and more competition, and I genuinely dislike you, I'm not having a picture with you after.
No, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? And I just felt like obviously that era of hype was different to this era. Every fight now is like Tyson Fury, I'm gonna knock his fucking head off. It goes 12 rounds, it's a boring fight.
Yeah.
Like the only one who doesn't really say much is Usyk. And I don't know if you watched the Usyk fight the other day, but apparently there was very controversial win, and
that's what I was going to say about what we've learned from the Conor McGregor and so Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather. Someone going into a different sport and just getting not embarrassed, but just you could see the different levels.
Yeah,
it is not the same thing. The who was the Japanese or Korean lad that Floyd fought after that? It was the kickboxer, Takeshi, whatever. Yeah, he pieced him up, and that was like an exhibition that was just it wasn't even fair.
Yeah.
So when Usyk and Rico Verhoeven were set to fight, I was like, oh, this is pathetic. It's going to be the same thing. You've got the greatest boxer potentially who ever lived fighting the greatest kickboxer who ever lived, but it's a different sport.
Yeah.
And then he was up on the scorecards in the 11th round, and Usyk was putting him on him. But everyone said that was an awful stoppage. 1 second left in the round where he could have had a minute, he could have recovered. And then if the fight went the distance, if they'd have stopped it in the 10th round, Rico would have won.
Yeah.
For the title in the biggest, as far as I'm aware, that was an actual fight. That wasn't a exhibition.
Well, it was similar to, what's his name? Ngannou versus Fury, wasn't it? Yeah. Ngannou won that fight.
Yeah.
I agree. They gave it to Fury, and it was
name a more corrupt sport than boxing.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't think of one.
Yeah, but I think to wrap up the enhanced games.
Yeah.
I think it would happen again? No. Do you think it'll happen again?
Do I want it to happen again? No.
I think it would only happen again if they revealed an absolutely huge name.
Yeah.
Like, they've got the biggest deadlifter in the world, Hafthor. If they came out and was like, it would never, ever, ever happen. But if they got like a poster boy for like Alasha Talahadze back out of retirement.
Yes.
Like if they went, right, we've got him, or we've got someone who's currently in the Olympics running the best times, and then when, you know what, we've got him, we've got her.
We've got Vitor Belfort on gear fighting Brock Lesnar. And whoever loses fights John Jones next.
Yeah.
Like, something like that. But like you said, where you've got almost a bit of like a theatrical element to it, where you go, right, Thor's going to go 5'15", but we've also got, and you know, like on wrestling games when you don't unlock the character and it's just a black silhouette, you should have
the masked
that
man comes out.
Yeah, of some, massive deadlifters talking shit.
Just sell tickets. Just be like, we've got the unknown.
Colton Englebright in a Rey Mysterio mask, pulling 550.
Or just make it a bit more WWE. Like, imagine like Hafthor comes out, deadlifts 520, and then it just goes like, dun, 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 yeah. He comes like running out, and you're like, oh my god, JR! And then he sumos 530, and you're like, oh shit! Yeah. Like, make it even more theatrical than they tried to.
Pay us to sort it for you. We'll do way better than whatever they
and
did.
I'll just say it as it is. I'll be like, no.
I wouldn't have Brian Johnson with an umbrella. I'd have Tom Eels and Adam Pugh on there, caffeinated up to the tits, just talking shit.
Yeah, get Adam Pugh on there, fucking.
Get Adam Pugh on gear.
Get him on the enhanced games.
Max push press.
So that's the enhanced games wrap up for anyone who's interested. I don't think it's going to happen again. I don't really care if it happens again. I won't watch it.
Just to finish with that, I don't know what the goal of it was, apart from to break world records and prove that, steroids are amazing. I think it did the opposite of that. I think it was a nice reminder that genetics are an enormous part in being successful as an athlete, as well as hard work, time doing the sport, just being good at your actual sport. But it was nice to see that like you can still do extremely well without steroids. Like, we're not all going to be Usain Bolt, but just chill out on taking fucking loads of gear.
Yeah. No, very fair. We're going to end it on Max Facts.
Okay.
So I'm bringing this back because it hasn't been in a while, and I, as you do, ChatGPT everything, and I ChatGPT'd it, and it came up, and I genuinely thought, how is this true? I thought ChatGPT is having me on here. So then I went to the second most trusted place, Google.
ChatGPT has done that well that people stopped going, I Googled it.
Yeah.
They said, I ChatGPT'd it.
Yeah, so I even Googled it, and it came back, and I thought, okay, I can run this story.
I've never. I'm trying to not read the screen, but it's right in front of me. I've never seen this before in my life, so I don't know why it is.
So, I'm going to talk about the 1904 Olympic Marathon, which was deemed the most chaotic race in sports history.
More chaotic than the guy that took like 50 years to finish.
Yeah. Oh, mate, this is on a fucking another level to that.
Right, I mean.
That's like baby food compared to what this is. So it had primitive doping. So it had the first elements of drug doping.
1904.
Yeah.
When
So
testosterone came around in like 40s for
you
war, was
wait
it?
till you hear what this is. So this is doping mid-race.
Oh.
So there's cheating, there's hallucinations, there's near-death collapses, and one. I'm not even going to say that. Actually, I'll leave that.
Sorry,
And
where was the marathon again?
so it was in St. Louis,
Where's that?
so America. So
Which part? It sounds southern, so it's
St.
hot as fuck.
Yeah. So
Missouri?
so this is it. Yeah. So in
Louis?
eastern Missouri. So
Okay.
they run the race, and 32 people started it. By the end of it, only 14 completed it. Right. So they run the race in. Let me get the facts up. Yeah, there you go. So they run the race on the 30th of August, 1904, and on the day, the temperature reached 32 degrees. It was run on unpaved roads that were mainly dirt track, which fucking played havoc with all the runners as cars of officials and like media basically were driving over the top of what they were running on. So it was kicking up dust, kicking up dirt, which nearly killed a contestant. Right, which is mad. So to start off with, you've got the organizer, James E. Sullivan. Right, so for the race in 1904, a lot of the Europeans couldn't actually afford to get to America because travel was so expensive. So the field was full of all sorts, like elite level runners to just a mailman in one of them who just turned up in like jeans, boots, and a t-shirt. Like
Just let it go.
this is the level of competition that was at the event.
Is this like like an actual competition, or is it like the
Yeah, this is
like
the
the
Olympics.
London Marathon? Oh, so the
Olympics.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So let me get it up here. All right, here we go. I'll cut this bit out for anyone who's listening.
32 doesn't sound that hot, but it's
32
what,
degrees when you're
28
running
today, and I'm-
running a marathon.
Mate, I'm sweating my nads off in 28.
Yeah,
and I'm not
I'm
exercising.
inside and I'm pissing my sweat already. Hold on, here we are. So right, James E. Sullivan wanted to test a theory during this race called purposeful dehydration. Basically, he believed that limiting water could improve endurance, so they placed one water station around mile 11, and that was it. So the only other water was in wells and through fruit that were on trees, basically. So loads of the runners suffered with severe dehydration and internal dust damage from the kick-up of dust from media, cars and whatnot. One athlete reportedly had his lungs bleed from inhaling dust. Right, so that's fucking insane, right? Anyway, going down to some of the contestants, I need your phone for this bit. So Fred Laws officially won the event, right?
Okay.
So officials awarded him the gold medal, which he took, but then shortly after, he admitted to getting in a car halfway through the race, right? So he got in a car at around...
How accessible are cars in 1904?
fuck knows. But he rode for 11 miles in a car, got out... because he basically got in the car because he was fucked. He was like cramping, severe dehydration, like everything was going wrong. Got in a car, drove for 11 miles before getting back out, only because the car broke down. So the car broke down. So he re-entered the race.
Otherwise, you would have gone the whole way. And...
Yeah, so he re-entered the race, carried it on, won it, got into the stadium, was about to be awarded the gold medal, and then came out with the truth.
Yeah.
And they basically said, right, obviously you are now banned for life. Like, this is an absolute joke. There was a guy called Felix Carvajal. So he was the mailman. He ran in street clothes. So he turned up in a long trousers, a white shirt, and street shoes. So before they started the race, someone came over and cut his pants into a makeshift running shorts before the race.
Nice.
And basically, just set him off on his way. His race, they said he was like the fan favorite because during the race, he like stopped to chat to spectators. He stole fruit from a nearby tree on a farm, and they were actually rotten. So then he suffered with stomach cramps. He also had a nap mid-race, got up, carried on the race, and despite all of this, he still came fourth.
Fucking hell.
So he came.
Well, I've only like 14 or whatever of them finished.
Yeah.
But yeah, to do it like in boots and fucking
Yeah.
jean shorts.
So after all of that, he could have he finished fourth, and historians believe that under normal circumstances he could have won. So he could have been in with a chance of it as a male man in
Fucking hell.
trousers that have been cut into shorts. with
Is that
boots.
the hallucinate when you eat rotten fruit? Is it like because it does it ferment?
Yeah,
is it
yeah,
like
it
alcohol? Like how
fucks
how
with
does
you
it
big
work?
time.
Okay.
Yeah. So he came fourth.
Yeah.
Thomas Hicks, right? So this was wild to me. So Thomas Hicks was the eventual winner. So he actually won the event. By the later stage of the race, Hicks was physically collapsing, and his trainers decided to chemically stimulate him, right, by giving him rat, in essence, rat poison, raw egg whites, and brandy. So mid-race, they're giving him small drops of rat poison, but apparently doctors at the time believed it acted as a nervous system stimulant. So basically, they tried to like almost like reboot him, just get him
with
get
rat
him,
poison.
yeah, get him to the end, which obviously we now know doesn't fucking work.
They give brandy to people that are like trapped on mountains, don't they? They said that's what what are those big massive dogs called?
Oh,
St. Bernards?
yes.
Yeah, so that's what they have under their neck in those bottles is brandy to like
Yeah,
keep
keep
people
you-
alive. So
Yeah.
same thing, but not on a mountain.
Yeah, so they basically drugged him mid-race, and they said witnesses describe Hicks. He was shaking, hallucinating, barely conscious, and when he got to the finish line, his trainers reportedly held him upright, rubbed his limbs, so basically were giving him like a massage to keep him going. They forced more stimulants into him to keep him going, and they practically dragged him across the finish line, while his legs were just like dangling and just gently touching the floor.
You know when people say about, people were much healthier years ago, and I'm moaning about people taking peptides. Peptides are 10 times better than taking rat
egg
poison
whites
and brandy.
Yeah, so it's like he then literally straight after finishing collapsed, just completely and
fair.
utterly fucked. And they documented it as one of the earliest cases of examples of performance enhancing drugs, but like to do it mid race and still
I don't think they
keep
tested
going.
it before.
No,
They were just like,
fuck it, whack it in him.
Have a
Small
go.
amount of rat poison won't hurt him, but they put so much in him that basically he started hallucinating and completely fucked his race. But he still won. He still won. But they said it was the most chaotic race because 14 of the 32 members completed it. 32 degrees. The event runner said that you weren't allowed water on 32
Fucking
degrees.
wild.
11 miles in, they said that it was at the Olympics, but the event runner wanted it as an experiment. How fucked is that?
This is why people
a
like
guy
that
got in a
shouldn't be in
car.
charge.
A guy got in a car mid-race and still lost. Like,
How did he? What sort of time was he finishing in for them not to go? Oh, you just ran an hour and a half marathon.
So
To question it.
I will question it now. But
ChatGPT.
I will chat GPT it again now. But let's have a look.
Do you type it in or do you speak into it?
I talk in
Yeah,
it. But
It's the future.
what times did they finish it in? Let's see if they've
It'd be
got it.
interesting to see what the fastest marathon time was back then. 120 years
So
ago.
Thomas Hicks was 3 hours, 28 minutes and 53 seconds. So the
Is
course
he the
was
one that
around...
cheated?
No, he was the one who actually won it. Well, cheated with the rat poison and the brandy.
Thomas Rat Poison Hicks.
So the course was around 40 kilometers rather than the modern 42.195 kilometers. Yeah, so the winning time at the previous Olympic marathon in 1900 was about 2:59. So they put on half an hour's worth of time because they were that fucked.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that is the most mental story I think I've heard for a race, that at the Olympics someone got in a car and accepted the medal, got all the way to the official medal ceremony,
Actually,
and then went,
I can't do this.
Gotcha,
Wait.
bitch. Got in a car.
2:58.50 at the 1896 Olympics, and then someone took half an hour off it in 1900.
Yeah.
That is wild. That just over 130 years ago, the marathon was an hour longer than it is now.
Oh, there you go. Another little fact. So 2 runners from South Africa were reportedly forced off course by aggressive dogs during the race. One of them, Len Tournier, is sometimes cited as potentially the first black African athlete to compete in the Model Olympics. So they basically got chased by dogs mid-race. When have you,
God.
like, what the fuck is this race? Like,
the standards of everything just so much lower. Like, if you do marathons now, you can't even get close
you
to
got
the
dogs
race.
chasing people, cars being driven, you got fucking rat poison being
Louis,
injected.
Missouri is just like bumfuck nowhere,
Oh,
like running
mate.
down.
That is max fact. So if you want to chat GPT it yourself and look at it, type in the 1904 Summer Olympics, the most chaotic race.
I quite enjoyed that. Someone should make like a Netflix documentary.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's been the hour.
Yeah, thank you guys. If you want us to cover anything next week, I'm not sure if we've got a guest on next week. I haven't checked the schedule.
We've got some guests lined up, including. Did I tell you about Rachel Draper, Becky James's sister?
No.
The team. She was a sprint cyclist who is Becky. You know Becky James, the cyclist.
Yeah.
She was European. I think she competed for Wales and GB as well. So she's going to come on. She's now a sprint cyclist coach. We've got also someone message us who is a S&C coach for the female rugby team Exeter, I think. I do believe.
I've got a friend who is somewhat of a big fish in the CrossFit space. Jordan Clark, we meant to have on last week. We're getting back in at some point.
Yeah.
I got a friend who is runs his own business, physio, similar vein to us, what we're doing.
Yeah.
We've got some cool ones coming on. We're still working on the big name from before that we never got on, but
we'll see.
We'll cover that when we get to it.
Thank you lot for continuing to listen.
Yeah, thank you guys. As always, Usk Stoves NP40JL for stoves, log burners, biomass heaters, everything you need to keep your house warm. 10% off if you go in and say about the podcast, say Sam, Charlie, whatever you need to do. Probably don't turn it on today.
Yeah, because it's fucking sweaty as
30 degrees, and it'd be nice for winter though. Cheers, guys.